Welcome back. Now, the humanitarian assistance by the Indian Armed Forces during Kashmir floods last year was not free of cost. Now, months after the disaster in September last year, the Defence Ministry has raised bills for rescue and airdropping of essential supplies during floods and charged Jammu and Kashmir government a whopping amount of 500 crores. Now, NDTV has accessed these documents showing the ministry has already paid 500 crores to the Defence Ministry from the State Disaster Response Fund. For more on this, let's go across to Nazir Masoodi, who joins us live from Srinagar. Nazir, very interesting to actually see these documents where the armed forces have carried out these operations at a cost. Also interesting, but also shocking in a certain sense.
Yeah, it is indeed, Kulsum, because that time it was seen as the biggest, humanitarian mission where army tried to help people of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, rescuing them, airdropping the supplies, and everybody was thinking it is a voluntary and a humanitarian mission. But what is turned out to be, everything was charged. They have raised bills worth whopping 500 crore rupees, and that was deducted from the State Disaster Relief Fund, which was the state share of the 1600 crore rupees, and the MHA has not given that money to the state government, but they instead diverted that money and has paid that money to the Defence Ministry since they have raised those bills. I'm joined by National Conference spokesperson, Mr. Junaid Azamatu. Junaid, isn't it shocking that time we've seen, because government has collapsed that time because every government office was marooned. Army had come to the rescue, and ultimately what is turning out that it was not free.
It is shocking. This has been, we have apprehended this for a while now. There are simple questions that you ask, as you rightly pointed out. I mean, if this was considered to be a humanitarian effort by the armed forces of this country towards the citizens of this country who live in Jammu and Kashmir, the obvious questions that are raised are will citizens elsewhere in the country be charged for being rescued from floodwaters too?
Army, defense forces are saying, defense ministry, that it is a routine thing everywhere. Wherever they go, this is being charged. But I spoke to the PDP, spokesperson and their general secretary. He's saying since it was so paltry, it was so meager relief amount from the SDRF, and that too was diverted. That is the problem.
See, we don't buy this routine amount. It doesn't hold any water. Routine amount for what? The government had collapsed. We were facing destruction of around 100,000 crores, which was later analyzed to be around 40,000 crores on a minimum. So where would the state government bring all of this from? And let me also ask this question. In the wake of the Nepal earthquake, in the aftermath of the Nepal earthquake, the Indian government went out and, lent a helping hand there. Will the Indian government ask for 500 crores from the Nepalese government too? So that is a question. I mean, this state went broke. It will take us decades to recover from the damage. So to expect the state government to pitch in from its own resources and pay for the rescue of its civilians from 20 feet deep water in the middle of the city, that is shocking beyond belief, and it is extremely tragic.
So clearly the opposition saying that, look, it is really tragic. Will the armed force also charge the Nepalese government for the relief and rescue operation they haven't taken during the Nepal earthquake? I a short while back spoke to the PDP General Secretary, Mr. Rafi Ahmed Mir. He said it is really shocking how come the amount, it was very meager compared to the magnitude of the disaster in September floods. They just gave 1600 crore rupees, and then they deducted the 500 crore rupees and paid it to the Defence Ministry. Really, political parties, both the government as well as the opposition, was really shocked, and they are raising questions. How come the centre divert this relief and rehabilitation money and pay it to the Defence Ministry? Kulsum.
Right, Nazir Masoodi there. Thanks very much for joining us.